Welcome to the Real Estate Fight Club, a podcast for agents where you'll witness a battle of opinions about topics affecting your real estate business. Now, always in your corner, here are your hosts, Jen Murtland and Monica Weakley.
Hi guys, Monica Weakley here. You know how you're supposed to post about real estate every single day on Facebook? Yes, you do. And the reason is, if we don't remind our Facebook friends what we do for a living and how we help people, they will forget about it. We know it's our job to inform, educate, and demonstrate what we do for a living. Well, I'm coaching agents all around the country, and they understand that, but they're not doing it. And I ask them, why aren't you doing it? Probably just like you. And they said, Monica, we don't know what to post. Can we just borrow your stuff? Because I love creating Facebook posts. And these can often be used over on Instagram as well. So I said yes, and people were borrowing my stuff. So I created finally a product that you can sign up for free. It is free, guys. There is no reason for you not to sign up for this. It's ghostposter.com, GHOSTPOSTR, no E in there, just TR.com. And what you're going to get is you're going to get a Facebook posting idea to your email every single day. So not only do you have this great idea, but you've been reminded, oh yeah, I need to post. And that's Monday through Friday. And if you don't love the post or you think, gosh, I'd like something else, well, you're also going to get access to a library of over 600 different posts for you to choose from by category. You're going to love it. Go sign up, ghostposter.com. Don't waste a minute. And then be sure to join the private Facebook group. All right, I'll see you in there. Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Fight Club. What's up, Jen Murtland?
Oh, I'm fired up today. You're in.
Oh, I know. And actually, I don't even know what I was thinking introducing you to this guy, because you two are going to gang up on me.
Yes.
And I don't know.
This is your fault.
All right. All right. Let me tell you what we're going to do today, and then I'm going to introduce you to our very special guest. So, as always, thank you for joining us. We love having you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for doing all the things. We appreciate you. And today, Jen and I are going to duke it out over this. Actually, I'm probably just going to get left in the parking lot or something on this one. But the question is, are for sale by owners, FSBOs as we call them, are FSBOs still a viable source of business? Are FSBOs a viable source of business? And so we have called in the heavy hitter today.
Yes.
The heavy hitter, Kevin Yoder. Welcome, Kevin. Thanks for being on the show.
Oh, thank you so much, Jen and Monica, for having me here. This is like the topic. And so I'm just fired up to share with you, to fight with you today about this and bring some insights. I'm of course, want to bring a lot of value. So I have practical experience in this very thing right here we're talking about.
Yes,
and I can't wait to get after it with you guys.
Yes, you do. So I got introduced to Kevin through a Bob Proctor program that I'm taking, a little coaching program, and Kevin is leading it. He's a certified Bob Proctor, or what do they call that? The institute now.
I think.
Right, it's Proctor Gallagher. People get confused. They call it Proctor Gamble. So sometimes I like to say, hey, you know, Bob Proctor, I'm a certified Bob.
Yeah.
Right? Bob's the homie. Yes.
And through these conversations with Kevin, I realized that he is the GOAT of all things FSBO, and he is having massive success, and he's got a really cool approach. And I know it's going to appeal to you, whether you've tried FSBOs before, whether you've never tried FSBOs, whether you're doing it right now, like, it doesn't matter. You're going to want to stay tuned into this episode, because I'm like Kevin said, he's going to bring a lot of value, I think. So Kevin is in the Michigan, Grand Rapids, Michigan market. And how long have you been an agent, Kevin?
20 years, about 20 years and 2 months. Yeah.
Jeez.
Happy anniversary.
I'm right
Thank you.
behind you.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean,
I think, Kevin, though, the real question, Monica said, is for sale by owners still a viable option? Like, did they ever go away as an option?
Good question. I love that insert of still in there, as though they went away, but guess what? They never went away. I think who goes away is the agents go away, and they just stop calling. So
okay.
Yeah, it's a great question. We're gonna cover this today really well. So,
well, how did you get into for sale by owners? How long have you been doing it? What have you figured out lately? Like, give us like just a little bit of background.
I will. So I'm going to bring it back. So I said 20 years in real estate. When I first started out, the first 8 years, I wasn't doing any active lead generation. It was mostly referrals, sphere of influence, past clients.
Oh,
It's-
hey.
Oh, you were a concierge agent. Oh,
As you're doing your happy hands, I
you were
was
broke.
with my hand, which represents a roller coaster ride. Okay.
Oh, that's because you weren't following a system. You were just waiting for the referrals to come in. Let me guess, right?
Okay, listen, whatever it was, here's what I knew. I knew that I could do more. Okay. I knew that I was definitely capable of accomplishing more business and selling more homes, helping more people. And I needed to grab a hold of something that I could just go deep in and do it better than everybody else. And so insert 2000, somewhere around 2011, I was done with mediocrity. I said, that's it, no more, I'm going to go for it. Hired a coach, hired my first assistant, and just went absolutely deep in expireds. Now, this is in the market was tanking, and I grabbed a hold of them, and I was taking like a lot. Like I remember June of 2011, I took 23 expired listings all by myself. I didn't have just
Whoa.
only expireds, by the way. So that is something I did tenaciously for a good part of 5-6 years until the market started to.
How long? Let me back up for a second. How long are you on the phone each day, or how many contacts were you making each day to get those results? Do you remember?
Yeah, back then, I mean, the numbers still about the same, usually an hour and a half, 2 hours a day.
Wow, that was like shooting fish in a barrel then.
You know, I was on the phone today for 40 minutes and I set an appointment, and because I still was within my time allotment, I just kept on rolling.
Why not?
I'm already on a momentum, right? Yeah. So
Like, and this is the
Yes,
thing I
I know.
want people to pull out of this. It's like, if you could live the life and make all the money that you wanted, live the life you always dreamed of, even if you make more money than you want, you can donate the rest. If you could do that in an hour and a half or 2 hours, but the commitment has to be 5 days a week for the next, let's say, 10 years, 5, whatever, I don't care. Would you do it?
I'm out.
Let's just stop it, Monica.
Like the cold call, I'm out.
that is a really great question. I think it's a worthy question to ask the real estate professional. What I believe is true is that I think that the reason why many don't, and this doesn't apply to everybody, but most agents did not realize they were getting into a sales business. They did not,
Right.
no one told them that. The wake-up call did never happen. So they realized, oh my God, like I'm actually in a sales role.
Where they don't know how to sell.
No.
Actually, I got a better question, Kevin. If you were as committed to generating leads as you were to going to brunch, would your business, not you, I think
That's you.
that's me. I'm trying to normalize brunch and happy hour as the two main meals of the day, you know? But I mean, a lot of agents are like that, right? Agents listening are like that. They're committed to going out with their friends. Like if you show that level of commitment to generating leads in this way, damn.
What would happen? What would happen? There's so much in your question. We could spend hours just on that alone.
Let's just go straight to FSBOs though, because that's why we're here.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
At the same time, there might be some other stuff that spills out of that, because believe it or not, underneath all of this conversation about for sale by owners remains a fundamental truth as to why folks mostly that are, if their business is thriving and they have a lever that they can pull, pull, whatever, push it up whenever they need to, go for it. Whatever that thing is, you got yourself some social media, you have an open house system, you have a sphere of influence, past client is robust, and your business is improving and increasing every year, year after year, duplicated repeatably. So be it. That's great. And if you get that, then it begs the question, like, why would we ever leave ourselves vulnerable to market conditions without having something that we can? I will challenge anybody in the world on this one. What do you have in place in your business right now that if someone says, hey, can you drum up $30,000 next month by pushing a lever? Show me the lever. Do it. I can do that. I literally can step into this space right here. In fact, I should just do that now and say, no, okay.
See you later.
Because I get so excited about it. I can push a lever up. If I say tomorrow, I'm gonna go buy my wife a new truck, a new SUV.
That's going to be more than 30,000.
It's gonna be way more than 30. Don't buy her a $30,000 truck,
I
Kevin.
got one under order because I was doing this all summer long. So I know exactly how much.
Okay, good.
Well, let's talk about for sale by owners. So here's the thing, like when I call for sale by owners, they're like, oh my gosh, some of them are like, well, one, they say, do you have a buyer? But we'll get to that later. But now they're like, oh, you're maybe like the 10th real estate agent that's called. But in reality, there's 5,000 or 6,000 real estate agents in my city. Only 10 of them are calling. That means the rest of them are not. Why aren't you calling for sale by owners?
He is.
And not you. I'm
Yeah, I
talking
know-
to
I know what
the
you're
people
asking.
listening.
I'll give you the short answer. If you guys want to dig, I don't have a lot of time here, but underneath it, there's a couple things that are the biggest drivers here. The number one would be a real true like goal that one is going after. So if someone says, here's what I'm going after this year, I'm going to hit that come hook or crook, whether it's unit or volume or income, it's always going to be the money that they're seeking so that it supports what they're going to go after. Is it vacation? Is it the new vehicle? Is it the beautiful home on the ocean?
Whatever it is.
That's the goal, right? And that goal has to be bigger, has to morph the feeling of rejection when someone says something to you on the phone and maybe they hang up on you or the call doesn't go. The goal has to be bigger than that.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost.
Okay.
And then secondly, it really comes down to one's self-concept, self-image. All of these things are tied to production and productivity, meaning if you have a strong sense of who you are, your self-concept is the combination of your self-image, the sort of person you conceive yourself to be, your worthiness, your self-esteem is how much you like yourself, and your self-ideal, meaning these are the aspirational states that I desire to be more like, or things I wish to have. Those three things are going to drive whether or not you do this on a daily basis and tied to the big goal. So there's the shortest version I can give you on this one.
Self-esteem, self-ideal.
Self-ideal, self-esteem, and self-image are the three drivers of the self-concept. There's a three-part formula for helping us understand why people do and do not take action. If they're not getting daily calls or daily appointments and they want those things and they know that their income it needs to be a certain place to not only support their lifestyle, but they aspire for more. They do want to travel the world. They do want to live in a beautiful home, but they're not doing the things that when they know they could do to make that happen. It's all underneath this three-part formula. It's powerful stuff, and it really belongs right in here. And I'm not poo-pooing anybody that doesn't do this particular thing.
I am.
Better be something, because it doesn't have to be FSBOs. It could be something you could get really.
But FSBOs, Kevin, are like the easiest. They're the easiest ones. They are literally like, there's only like, they want the most amount of money, or they just like pretending to be a real estate agent. It's perfect. Well, I mean, at EXP, it's great for us because I'm like, hey, have you thought about getting licensed? You know,
Yeah,
like
I mean,
this is
since you're doing
awesome.
whole- yeah, that's right. Since you're selling houses already, but
I mean, come on, man.
they're not selling houses. That's the key. They're not doing.
Well,
that.
they're not, or they're leaving money on the table or whatever, right? But I'm just saying, like, if you decide that you want to cold call, if your business is not where you want it to be, you want to add calling into it. If I had to choose between for sale by owners and expireds, I would do for sale by owners. It's like the easiest.
Okay, let's say we're all on board with this. It is FSBOs, and that's what we
Okay.
want to do. Let's talk tactics and techniques.
Oh, good. Let's compare scripts.
So,
Kevin.
listen, I want to just look at your word real quick. You said it's the easiest. I would suggest that it's not necessarily the easiest, but there are opportunities every single day in that category. And
Okay.
we can control our business and our
Most
inventory.
consistent then is that
I would say consistent, always been, likely always will be. So those are some pretty important variables. I don't know if easy because it takes a lot of training and practice to get really good at it. I don't intend just to pick up the phone and call people and just have conversations about whatever. I intend to get a meeting.
right.
I do that. And
But that's a really good point. So the purpose for the call is to set the appointment. You're not trying to sell them. You're trying to set the appointment. So this is that mindset is like critical. Would you agree?
There's a one word that I think we could insert in this whole thing. The answer is yes. The mindset is absolutely everything. It's underneath it all. There's one word that I bring to this equation that I insert into every single call session before I strap the headset on and I'm going. It's an expectation.
Yeah.
I have an absolute expectation. Today I'm going to go set to, an appointment or two today because I look at my calendar at the beginning of every week. How many do I have on my calendar? If I don't have 4 on there or 5 listing appointments, I know what my job is today.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the reality is it's like, okay, they need help. I know that I know that they will list with an agent, or they will sell for less, or it will not sell. One of those things will happen. If they are wanting to sell for more and they want to list with the agent, I want to be the one that they list with, right? So if I don't call them, how will they know me? Out of the 5,000 or 6,000 real estate agents in Cincinnati, they will never find me.
That's right. That's right. They won't find you. So I think that what you're getting at here, Jen, is at least for me, this is the way that I look at it through this lens, is that if I know that I have a service, if I know I can serve them, in other words, I know I can get them across the finish line. And if I also know that I have the ability to add increase.
Yeah.
That's a term that like I like to use because it also falls into my program as well. But adding increase to people means leaving them better off than you find.
Right.
If I know I can do that, and I know for sure, and based on experience that I have a formula, a proven system that actually does do that, then I find it, I feel it to be not only my duty, but my obligation and responsibility.
Yes, you're pulled to it. It's your fiduciary. Well, you're not a fiduciary yet.
Yeah. It's not
but
just an appointment, not just to make money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
all right. So most of the things that I have noticed as I've trained agents is that one of the hurdles is not only mindset, which I feel like we've talked a lot about, and it does come back to that. That's the base. But like also now, what do you say?
Yeah, I just call you up, and you're talking about scripts now, right?
Yeah, ring ring.
Yeah, sure. And so yeah, we can go there. So I call you up and say, hey, this is Kevin Yoder. And Jen, by the way, Kevin Yoder here. I noticed you have a home for sale in whatever area. And the reason for my call is I'm just, you may, as you probably know, we work with a lot of buyers in the area, and I'd like to get some more information about your home. So far, everything I've shared is accurate and truthful. We work with a lot of buyers in the area. I'm calling to get some more information about your home. True.
Is it ever not truthful?
No, I mean,
it was a weird distinction for me. Okay.
That's why I'm bringing it up now in case someone's watching this going, wait a minute. Look, we work with a lot of buyers. I have 35,000 buyers in my database. I can drop a listing in there and hit boom and goes out to everybody. So accurate, true. My agents are working with buyers. I work with buyers. So all that's true. So I start off with that very simple premise. I'm calling to get some more information about your home. Tell me about it. And I would say, hey, Jen, I noticed you have quite a few photos on here on Zillow. Great job. I don't know if you did professional photos, but I'm really liking what I'm seeing here.
Okay, great. Do you have a buyer?
Yeah, you know what? We might very well have a buyer. I'm so glad you asked. This is one of the first things that we'll go over when we take a look at your property and get to know your home a little bit more. So the more I can educate myself about your real estate, the more when a buyer asks me about it, I'm going to be able to speak intelligently about it.
Sure.
Seem okay?
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Good. So can you tell me what is the one thing about your home, Jen? And by the way, I noticed you have a wonderful description here. This is awesome. Thanks for sharing all those details. Is there something that stands out to you? If you had 30 seconds or maybe 10 seconds to just stand on the top of a mountain and tell a buyer why they should live at your home, what's that one thing?
Well, mine's built with 2x6s instead of the other houses are 2x4s in the neighborhood. Oh, I know that's like always what we hear. Run.
Right. It's your fancy outlet covers. That's what it is.
Right.
So, yeah. Right.
I don't know. I love my finished basement.
You love your finished space. Okay, great. That sounds awesome. And anything else come to mind?
The neighborhood is really nice. All the neighbors are great. We love them.
Great. So great neighbors, finished basement. Okay, that's awesome. And we have this thing called deferred maintenance. Basically what that means, Jen, is that there's some things that maybe sometimes just don't get done, and you wait for the new owner to move in and take care of those projects. Is there anything that falls in that category of, hey, we know this probably should be done to the home, we're just not going to do it? Anything like that?
I mean, there's probably a couple little things, but we keep our furnace and air conditioner up, like we have it serviced every year. We clean the gutters. There's probably a couple little things though, but I know that the buyer will get an inspection.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so nothing major. And so along the lines of that furnace and AC, do you happen to know the ages of those?
I mean, they're newer. They're like, 1995. They say these things. They say these things, don't they, Kevin?
And here's the answer. This is what's perfect about this is I just simply reply, Okay, great.
Okay, great.
Okay, great.
Great.
See, I'm not judging. I'm just getting information. Okay, great. So
This is why the
40
mute button comes in handy for me.
40
I'm like,
year-
what the
40-year-old furnace. Okay, great.
Okay,
I'm not
great.
going to argue with you. Okay, super. Super duper. Great. So, hey, Jen, thanks for sharing. I appreciate all those details about your house. So if we were to bring a buyer to you in the next, say, 20 or 30 days, would that present a problem for you in any way?
no, that works.
That works for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there an ideal timeline for you? In other words, what's the sweet spot for you to move out of the home?
Well, we're building right now, so it should be done in, I think it's going to be done in a couple of months.
Okay. Okay. Got it. So sometime in the month of October.
Yeah.
So timing for you, if we could somehow time that so you would have the buyer buy it, close on it, and you can stay in the home until such time that your home is ready, would that be ideal?
Yeah, that's ideal. Yeah.
Okay, got it. I just noted that. So thank you for sharing and bringing that clarity to this conversation. I really appreciate it. And so I'm curious then, Jen, if I were to bring a buyer to you that would purchase your house at your price and close around your schedule, buyer has no sales contingencies and zero inspection issues and zero appraisal issues. In other words, Jen, it's the buyer you've been looking for and you're in control the entire time. But more importantly, way more important than all of that, the check that I hand you at the closing table is the same, but very likely significantly more than you can accomplish by selling yourself. Would you be open-minded to having me show you how I can help you accomplish this by listing with me?
Oh, I thought we were talking about a buyer.
Yeah, potentially, for sure.
Yeah.
And what we found is that what sellers really love, a buyer, is multiple buyers.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Reason being, because whenever that happens, the price always goes up, and you do want the most amount of money, don't you?
Yes. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So if you knew that by adopting a very specific proven formula that you could net more at the closing, you're actually going to make more money and save more time and line up perfectly for you. Would you want to at least take a look at that formula if you knew that one existed?
Yeah, sure. I mean, how do you do that?
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that's one of the first things that we're going to go over when you meet with me.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sure.
And, okay, awesome. And so, by the way, looks like I'm going to be in your area a couple times next week. What works better for you, afternoons or evenings?
Afternoons better.
Afternoons are better. Okay, super. You know, looks like I have Tuesday at 3 or Wednesday at 2. What works better for you?
Wednesday. Are you bringing a buyer too?
You know what? Here's what's awesome about this. Now that I know more about your home and you've shared with me some great nuggets, I'm going to spend the next few days combing through the database and talking with all the folks that we're working with to see if we possibly can. And at the same time, what's equally great about that is that I'm going to share with you my marketing strategy that is right now in this very market getting for sale by owners, top dollar, more money they can get on their own. And by the way, here's the thing, Jen, I want to make sure that we're super clear on this. This is not an obligation to work together.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a meeting. We're going to take a look at your house. If I cannot help you or money in your pocket at the closing table, I will let you know that right up front. Does that seem like
okay? Yeah, that sounds good.
Super. So here's what happens next. I'm going to send you an email so I don't know if I'm
yeah.
Right. Blah, blah, blah. I'll see you next week. I hang up the phone and then I grab my phone and I do a quick little bomb video text.
Oh, nice.
I send it to him. I'm like, hey, I'm putting a face to a voice. Now that we've met, I'm looking forward to meeting you next week. Save this number in your phone. If you need me between.
That's so good. That's like a little cherry.
Every time.
Cherry on the cake.
Yeah.
I like it.
Kevin, let me ask you this, because that script obviously sounds very organic and authentic and awesome, and not really like a script, even though I know you were following a process.
Yeah, it's right here. You can even see reading it. Yeah,
I'm sure. And so where I think this derails for agents is that they don't feel like they have a proven system
good point.
Help the client. I think anybody that really felt like they had a cure to cancer would call anybody with cancer and say, "I've got a cure," right? But
that is such a good point.
Have that.
Yeah, so that is a really good point. Now, here, let's just center on this for a second. How many years do doctors go to school before they're allowed to practice and do surgery?
A lot longer than real estate agents.
Of course, right? And we go with our 40-hour class and we go through our basic training to get licensed, and then we go out and start performing surgery. Big problem. And so you've opened up a can of worms here, is that the idea is that we need to develop a proven formula. How dare we go out there in the marketplace and promise people that we're going to help them if we don't have a proven
malpractice.
How do you do it?
Well, wait, we should take a break though.
Oh, we should. How do you do it when we return?
God.
Thank God you caught us.
Yes. let's take a break and hear a word from our favorite partners. And when we return, we will find out all the secrets.
All right, welcome back. Let's get back to the battle inside the ring, which is more of just an amazing, informative ring versus a battle today. But before we answer the question,
I'm trying to fight with Kevin, though. He's not fighting with me.
No, he's too good for that. Before we go back to that question of how do you get the proven track record, you used a phrase I need to ask you about. You said hook or crook. What's that?
What?
What's hook or crook?
Is that an old? Do you not, Jen? Can you back me up on this? Have you heard that term?
I have.
You have?
These are things that older people throw at them, like little terms and phrases. It's like saying like "come to hell or high water." Is that
hook or crook? What is that?
Alan always says ifs and buts and candies and nuts, and that's like a super old saying. And I'm always like, what does that even mean? Like giggles and skittles and I don't know. I don't get it.
So to answer your question,
is a normal saying.
I really don't know what that came from. I do.
Hook or crook. I'm gonna look it up.
I know what it means, and I use it.
Yeah, it means hell or high water. Like
I just don't want to say hell on the phone with somebody that I just met because it might just,
It depends.
All right. So we understand the language to use. But the problem is we don't have confidence in our own ability to go there and demonstrate to them that you can actually make them more money, net them more money.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Okay. So there's two things I think that are in here. Number one is there's the system side of things, but there's also like the documentation of. So what is the thing that would allow you to say that you have a proven system? What's the thing that would allow you to say that?
If you had evidence of a system working for a seller.
Yeah. How many times must you perform that system and get them and create a world-class experience for you to say that it's proven?
Once.
One time. One time.
One time.
Proven system. Now, they're happy at the closing table. They've given you a handshake or a hug. They're smiling ear to ear. They're very grateful. They've given you referrals. You got them more money. Proven, 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 proven. Got it. That's all you need. Got it, right?
Right.
Done.
So, yeah, with the mindset of leaving people better off than you found them, you're going to seek out ways to do that. That's little special things you can send, even from the very beginning. When I send them that video text, that's my way of starting off this relationship in a way that they know I am different. Gosh darn it. I'm not your average run-of-the-mill real estate agent. You can't find me on the street corner. Well,
that's where they live?
Maybe.
That's where the agents live?
That's where the average agent
Oh
lives.
my God. What is going on in Grand Rapids?
wow.
Come hook or crook. I think
hook or
All this
crook.
stuff is just flowing out. You know what I'm saying.
Are you saying hooker? Hooker or crook? Is this what we're talking about?
Listen, but even yes, all of that, this is what makes you a great coach, Kevin, because I just get angry. But also here's like the reality. The reality is do you believe as a real estate agent that you can cast a wider net through your network and through the other agents than they can with the stupid for sale by owner sign in their yard? Who casts a wider net?
Well, what if they're on the MLS?
Do you think that just being on the MLS is what prompts a house to sell?
I think that's what most agents think.
Oh my God, return your license.
I always go to the spokes on the wheel when it comes to this conversation. Yeah, I get that. MLS is a spoke on the marketing wheel. So is Zillow. By the way, you're on Zillow. Super duper. You've got about maybe a 5% market penetration on your listing. It's not getting the job done, but they also take photos with their iPhones. And so they got some grainy, stupid photo.
And have all 6 dogs in the picture.
Yeah, like they're this horrible. Like this is gonna kill it right there, right? What's the number one thing that brings on emotions from buyers? It's the photography,
right?
Written description, and both of those things.
The
staging, photography, pricing strategy.
Even that. So my point is we have as agents at our disposal access to training, go to the trainings. Access to systems, adopt a system. Be more system-like about it, then be more systematized than you would be, say, more like, shooting at the hip. Create a system and call it something, the ultimate home selling system, or Monica's whiz bang seller
Whiz bang. I like it.
whatever but just package it and call it something.
Girl from the streets.
Got it.
Monica's hooker
From
and
hook or
crook.
crook, I'll sell your house.
But here's the thing. But to your point, Kevin, I think that like if you actually wrote down everything that you did when you got either a property that you were going to sell or you got a buyer that you were trying to find a house, it would be more than putting a sign in the yard, praying to God it sells, and putting it in the MLS. It will be more. I guarantee it. And if it's not, do you have a happy client?
Do
Probably
you
not.
think, Kevin, do you think Jen is angry
Passion.
about this?
Passion.
Do you sense like anger?
I don't think she's angry. I think she's honest, and I think she knows what she's talking about here. She's asking some good questions. I don't think there's anger, but
Oh, she's angry.
so here's the challenge. The challenge is we all know this to be true, that we do have the MLS. It's a hub that syndicates. It's a hub. Watch my hands. Syndicates. Okay. Hub that syndicates. So I use that and listen to this. I knock stuff over. It's a hub that syndicates. So it's the center that then allows us to publish out to all the thousands of websites all over the world. You have one, you have Zillow. I got thousands of websites, and I have professional photography. I fly drones over. We make this thing look like it's the prettiest penny on the street. It's like it's out of the pages of a magazine, folks. So, and then we capture feedback through technology. We deliver that to you at your fingertips, all these things together. So we know this to be true. The problem is they don't know that we have all this to our disposal.
But to your point, though, it has to start with the agent, right? I also know this to be true because when I call the for sale by owner, only 10 of my colleagues have called them.
Right.
So that means everybody else isn't. I can guarantee you, because if I list it, I'm going to get more calls on it because they're more comfortable calling me than you, the for sale by owner, as evidenced by the amount of calls you didn't get.
Good point. That's a really good point.
So, and why is that? I mean, in your head, like as an agent, I'm thinking, why are my colleagues not calling? But it's exactly what we're talking about, right?
Well, there's so much here. We're not
So much.
because we if you hear them say they're not paying a commission, so there's one reason why we wouldn't call. So they put them in a corner. We can't do that with listed properties. We can't blackball them, but for sale by owner, you could avoid that listing because you're not going to be compensated. Why would you bring a buyer through? It's putting yourself in a major risk of selling it for just basically to investors or just to the person that wants to get a deal. But so we know they don't know. It's our job. It's our job. I always say, don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better.
Oh,
What the hell?
damn.
Whoa.
My fault. It's my fault. I got a T-shirt. It says it's my fault on it.
My
Everything's my
fault.
fault.
I love it.
I love that. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better, man.
Yeah,
That's
That's freaking
locked
good.
in.
Get
Yeah.
better. Do
Can we fire some objections at you?
Hell yeah, go.
How you would handle that? All right. We'll alternate here. Jen, you want to
Oh.
go first or you want me to go first?
For sale by owner.
Yeah. Pretend
Oh
you're
yeah, sure. I could do one. Well, I used to be a real estate agent, so I know what I'm doing.
Oh my gosh, that's great. So when did you sell real estate?
In 1980s. This is
That's
old,
when you changed your furnace.
this is real shit.
I
This
know,
happens.
God,
Yeah.
Those for sale by
Yeah.
owners are realtors. Am I right?
in their minds.
Yes, the answer is true. Okay, great. Okay, great. See, this is not going to change. I have a 30-year-old furnace. Okay, great. I used to sell real estate.
Okay, great.
Super duper. So I'm just curious then what has you going at this this way versus hiring a professional? Because you were an agent at one point, you relied on.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what to do.
Yeah. So that's great. And so what I would love for you to do is just sell your house on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
great.
It sounds
have a
great.
buyer?
And maybe that's why we're talking today. And I'm just curious, when you put that sign in your yard and you slammed it in the ground and you were like, this is the way I'm going to do it. Do you have another decision maker in the process with you, Jen?
No, just me.
Okay. So when you did that, did you think to yourself, okay, I'm going to give this thing a shot for a period of time until such time that if it doesn't work out the way that I want, then I'll look at a plan B, which is hiring a professional, what I used to be.
I haven't thought about that yet. No.
Okay. But something you might,
Yeah.
if it doesn't work out, might you be open-minded to that?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, sure.
I just didn't think we'd get there, but yeah.
And by the way, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, if you can sell it on your own, I will come over and high five you. I may even buy you a beer. That's great. And
Great.
if
I drink White Claw.
Well, I'm sorry. No, I wouldn't say I'm sorry. I would agree with you and
You'd
say
that's great.
great. White Claw is great.
But I like how you asked about you're basically asking what's your plan, man? You know, like, do you have a plan in place? What's going to happen next if what you originally thought didn't work? And that's that can work on a lot of situations.
Yeah. And so here's what so again, though, remember, my intentions are very clear. I'm still not going to leave it at that, even though I brought that up now. I'm at this point, if like you're here, I'm literally going around the circumference of the prospect, trying to figure out where I can find my way in.
Right.
Means I have multiple ways to do this, not just I'm not a one-shot approach. So I'm still going to go back to this script, believe it or not. And I'll still go back. So, Jen, that's great. You were an agent before, so you kind of understand there's some tools available to us that allow, and that's actually gotten a lot more robust and more powerful in the last 30 years.
Yeah.
That might change a lot. And so I am curious, though, even though you had this experience before, if I were to bring a buyer to you that would purchase your house at your price and close around your timeline, and they remove all the contingencies, no appraisal issues, no inspection issues, and that check that I do hand you at the closing table is exceedingly higher than you can get on your own, even with your previous experience being a licensed agent, even with that in place, if you can get more money and save yourself the time and the hassle, would you want to at least know about it? Would you want to at least avail yourself to the proven formula?
So, and I would say, okay, Kevin, how can you guarantee that a buyer will come without an inspection contingency and all those things you just are promising me?
Yeah, a lot of times, that's a great question. And I'm glad you brought it up. A lot of times what happens is when we have one buyer that is interested in the property, usually doesn't work. They're going to ask you for the world. But when we have 15 or 10 or 15 buyers all fighting for the same property, they start to drop these silly contingencies in an effort to get in the home. They want to live in your home. If I can get one buyer that's aware of another buyer, they'll fight. You see, the reason why, Monica, is because we fight for what we can't have that we want. You see that? Someone else is going to get what we want. The gloves are off.
But I've heard the market is a little different now. We're not getting those multiple offers. Is that true?
They're just a little bit different. It's just a little bit different. So we're still in a seller's market. People say, they ask me, hey, Kevin, is this a bad market or a good market? And my response is always the same. It always has been. It's neither. It's neither good nor bad. It just is. It's either a seller's market or a buyer's market. So I'm glad you asked. We still are in a seller's market. It's just not this extreme, crazy, over-the-top thing we saw last year, which is actually very good, because then if you're selling to buy, you have a little more time to navigate around and get a smoother process for you.
Well, I just don't really want to pay
that
much commission. Will you do it for less?
Yeah, that's a great question. So my question for you is this. What's more important to you, Jen? Really think about it. Having a higher sales price or letting your friends know that you sold your home paying less commission? What's a stronger driver for you?
I mean, I'd rather sell my house for more.
Right. And so if that price is higher and it offsets the commission, you end up at the closing table with a check in your hand, and it's literally more. The money that says payable to Jen, the dollar amount there, that's higher than you could get on your own. Would you be okay with that idea?
I mean, I would, Monica.
That's fine. Come on.
I would like more money. Yes.
Sure. Come on.
Thank you.
We're just getting down to, like, who's going to say no to that question? Unless they don't understand.
Some ding dong.
Like, right.
Kevin, on average, if you do not set the appointment on the first call, how many follow-up calls and what do those look like before you get the appointment? What's your average?
That's really good. So I go for the first appointment. If it's a hard no, I called the guy last week Friday. He was an agent before he knew me. Yeah. And I said, hey, tell you what, he's like, I'm going to do this a couple of weeks on my own. I said, tell you what, that's great. And I said, here's what we'll do. I said, on Monday, you have an open house this weekend. I'm going to call you on Monday and ask you how the open house went. That's going to be my question. And do you have any offers? And this is not going to be like, I'm not going to be aggressive with you. I'm going to ask you how it's going. I'm going to ask you, do you have an offer? And I'm going to ask you, do you want to meet? That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I called him today. He said, had a few showings, no offers, no one put anything in writing yet. And you know what, Kevin? He goes, I want another week. I want to do another week. I said, great. So it sounds like you want to give yourself another week. He said, yeah, call me next week, Monday. I go, better yet, I'll call you Friday. So then we can set a meeting next week if things don't shake out this coming weekend. Fair enough? Fair enough. And I rock it again. I schedule an appointment for myself. It pops up on my screen, but then if it's past that, let's say it goes beyond 2 weeks or 3 weeks, they've either sold or they've listed with someone else.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And if I'm calling them and they're not answering, some of the times they've been basically they're ghosting at that point.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I'm using a combination of texting and calling and video. I'm not just leaving it just as a text.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely calling them, leaving a voicemail and texting. The 1-2 punch. So they're hearing me. They're experiencing what this is going to possibly be like. And does that answer your question? I want to make sure I'm getting it.
Yeah.
You could also have all your friends call and ask if it's for rent. That gets them off the fence real quick.
See how generals? Yeah.
You know,
I'm kidding.
You know what? That's so weak. What you got to do is you have all your friends offer them lowball offers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or ask if they'll do owner financing.
Yeah. Or rent to own.
Yeah. Right.
Great.
Or have one of them show up at the house at an open house and steal something.
Oh.
You've done that too?
Yeah.
So great.
All right. Oh my gosh. There is
So good.
I mean, there's so much more here. And Kevin, I know you could probably do a 3-hour class on this, but we do this has probably been one of our longest podcasts because I think there's been so much good information. Yeah. I appreciate that. What systems are you using? What's your go-to dialer?
Vulcan dialer.
Okay.
Vulcan 7 is what it's called. Vulcan 7.
Yeah, I think like Vulcan 7 is like the daddy, right? The daddy of all the dialers. And then if people want to just dip their little toe in the water, we like Red X because you can get like just for sale by owners or just expired. It's a much more affordable product. And then once you get going, I mean,
yeah.
I think the dialer might be a little bit intimidating for some folks getting into calling.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So you don't have to do that.
You don't have to do
It's
it.
just information is where you're getting it. Right?
Yeah.
When I first started calling about November of last year, FSBOs, I was using what's called land voice. So they're just
that's another one.
right. So
Yeah.
I think that's gonna have to be the end of today's battle, right?
I love it. For sale by owners are the best. Get out there, call one today.
That's good. Kevin, how can people get a hold of you? I know you have a great website. You also have a great YouTube site. If you want more information from Kevin, give him that.
yeah, best to go to Yoder Results, my last name right there, and then results at the end. 2 R's.
If you're not watching, it's YODER and then results.
Results.com. There you'll find links to my videos, and I've got sales training right on that website, which brings you into a lot of these recorded calls I have with live for sale by owners. So if you want to hear this playing out live, this is not just stuff we're just playing with here. It works.
Oh, that's cool.
Love it.
Yeah.
So
And
good.
I'm in Kevin's thinking into results, which I think you have on that page as well, which has been a really cool class and I'm enjoying a lot actually.
Well, great.
Get those results.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to share this podcast with somebody that you know might be thinking about for sale by owners as a strategy. And thanks for tuning in. Jen?
Yeah. If you have any questions, definitely hit up yoderresults.com. And Monica and I are also looking for people to join our team. So if you would like to work with us, call or text me at 513-400-1691. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Monica.
Thank you, Kevin. And Jen,
having
I'll see you
me here. It
next
was fun.
time.
Appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye.
Why do 85% of real estate agents get out of the business in less than 3 years? Well, the main factor is that these agents don't realize that they own their own business. So my coach, Coach John Kitchens, has put together a free clarity report for us. This is whether you want to earn $100,000 this year or $1 million. This report will give you the clarity you need to thrive in your business and not be a statistic. Go to coachcodeclarity.com for your free clarity report outlining what your success looks like.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a podcast.